So thank you very much for your time today. And I'm happy to take any questions if there are any, John.
The big thing that leaps out at me about this presentation is that there really needs to be a kind of a fairly significant overlap between cybersecurity and risk and, compliance folks. How do you get people in the same room talking about the same things in the same ways?
Yeah, that's a good question. And I think that's a similar concept into what's happened in cyber recovery and backup, right? So typically backup was a conversation that was an IT and infrastructure problem.
Mm-hmm.
They had, kind of the DR events that were a data center flooding or active God that were high impact but low probability. And then they had the BC planning opportunities that were, incredibly high likelihood, but not a huge impact to the organization. Cyber resiliency as of 2017 came a little bit of both, right? We have these events that are highly disruptive to our organization, and there's a really high chance of them happening to us. So part of the effort here is to get buy-in at the leadership level, understanding the business risk for operational disruption, not just, this is going to be something I downplay to the people on the ground. And I think similarly, this is around getting the GRC and the privacy folks and the compliance folks on the same page as the cyber people to understand, hey, we're on the same mission and the same path. And again, signing that to business value and business impact is a big part of, making these projects happen internally that we've seen.
Yeah. So basically your takeaway is, have those conversations, but have them based on business impact, and then you'll get some traction.
Yeah, exactly.
And we have one more question in just about a minute to answer it. Are there specific things that need to be considered for remote teams versus on-site teams?
I think yes. But I mean, remote. This is a question that was really a topic of conversation, in 2020 when more people started working remote, that as more critical business applications are being pushed to collaboration tools, like as you can imagine, more critical data is going to those environments. So it makes sense, yes, to have a scalable backup process in a worst case scenario. Most of these SaaS applications have a shared responsibility model where they're not responsible for the data. But I think in and of that same risk is if you have more people using collaboration applications to do their day-to-day than they did before because they're not together, there's a higher likelihood that sensitive data, customer information is in that environment. And if someone gets in and gains traversable access to your SaaS application, they're going to see that. They're going to take it out. So that's really, I think, the answer to that question is absolutely yes. It was a problem in 2020, and it remains to be a problem at scale today.
And I'll just add to that, because I think we're still okay on time. This was the point I was making earlier about social media and collaboration. Don't assume that just because you're using Teams, you're safe. You actually need to layer on additional cybersecurity. And just in case you're not scared enough, it turns out that AI can actually pretty quickly and easily deduce PII and other sensitive data from what people say in things like chat. So you're now moved beyond the whole question of this data is sensitive, this data is not, to neither of these are sensitive, but you put them together and the AI can then deduce sensitive data. So in case you weren't scared enough, there you go. Vincent, thank you so much.